Welcome to Chaile time. It's that time again where we tackle all the do's, the don'ts, the inside of your workplace. Toby, welcome.
Tsepo, it's good to see you. Yes, you haven't been part of Chaile time for 2-3 weeks now.
Yeah, but I'm not happy.
Why not?
Because I also want to be a peaky blinder.
Well, with this?
Yes, it's a nice head.
But don't you think it makes me look clever? Yeah.
It makes you look like you're from London.
I mean-
might.
I mean, if I look like this, I look ordinary. See, but if you put this on, I look smart, man.
Maybe I want to look smart too. Anyway.
It's all about the looks, eh?
Anyway, how you've been and then how's it
Yes,
been?
we're in silly season at the moment. But even yourself, yes, it's getting hectic, eh? Sure, it's busy.
Very.
Every single day. It's just cases after cases after cases, you know. But it's good, can't complain.
Yes.
It's good, yeah. So
how's
somehow we need to pay bonuses in the year. We'll see.
Oh. Bonus. I love that word, bonus.
You have to see.
So how was your week? Just briefly, how was your week? What is that you've been up to?
Well, we have a lot of disputes at the moment, CCMA cases and so. And I was at this case. We're going to talk about the CCMA Klerksdorp. When was it? That was like 2 days ago. Yeah, the day before yesterday. Interesting what happened there. But also other cases, you know, we suing some big companies in South Africa. And I've heard that the CEOs are not happy.
Hey, lawsuit.
Some big cases coming out. So, but yourself? I've seen you locked up in offices doing online hearings like for days.
7 days.
7 days non-stop.
This is the longest I've had in my entire life. The last one I had only took 2 days. Actually, that was my first long case since I moved. Should I say moved back or since I rejoined you? Remember, I used to work for that logistic company and then I came back and started working
Except
with
for you never came and gone. We've been together 15 years.
I
already,
know, but
so
remember it's a matter of you've been placing me there, placing me there, placing me there. But when I came back home, my longest case took 2 days. But this one was like 7 days. I couldn't sleep. I could only dream of that case.
But I believe there was like 2 pages of charges and over 200 pages of evidence.
1 pages of evidence.
Yes.
But before we get there, because I'll talk about that in the next episode, it's why I would like to call myself, I'm not getting big-headed or something, but sometimes
I know where you're going to.
but sometimes I have to call myself a magician, you know. I make things disappear sometimes.
Yes, you do, eh?
I just abracadabra.
Are you talking about yesterday now?
I'm talking about yesterday now.
Listen, for those of you, well, obviously you don't know. Yesterday it so happened that we both were same time representing different clients of ours at the CCMA Johannesburg. And my case went quick. The employee didn't pitch. Okay. And then as I walked out, I walked past him. There were like 2 rooms next to us. And there were like 4 or 5 people from our side. And the applicant had his attorney. And I saw some other people there too. And it wasn't long thereafter I got a withdrawal WhatsApp from him. He managed to get the lawyer and the employee to withdraw the case. And I told this client, you know, only you can do that. I had some withdrawals in my life, but just you, eh?
I got the attorney eating out of the palm of my hand. But yeah, I'm not gonna get big-headed out of it because this guy was clueless.
The lawyer now.
The lawyer, he was clueless.
Yeah, but you see a lot of lawyers now, employees, you don't understand this. You go sometimes, not always, this is not always the case, but often it is the case because we face those lawyers at CCMA. They don't prepare. They just pitch up on the day and 10 minutes before the time go through your file and try to see what's going on here, you see.
But now his downfall was he kept on asking me questions.
Yeah?
And I pull out a straight face, like, my friend. I kept on calling my friend.
So what kind of question will he ask you?
Are you going to allow me to sit in?
Oh, to represent the employee?
Yeah, to represent the employee, because he did not make an application, you know. And then he kept on quoting, say, in terms of section 25 of the CCMA, I'm like, my friend, this is a battleground. We're not playing here. Then he went on to ask me, so if I apply for continuation, how are you going to oppose? And I'm like, my friend.
Did you not hear?
My friend, there's no way I will never oppose this. I'm going to. Like, okay, yeah, now, you know what? He was sweating. He was all, and I was so chilled, having a bottle of water, keep on drinking my water. But yeah, well, what are we talking about today? Enough about my magics.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant. But anyway, so I want to touch on a concept called post-truth. The world is moving, or we've been probably in it for a while now, in an era of post-truth. Now, what is post-truth? I want to go here into Wikipedia quickly. Let me see here. Post-truth, okay, as defined by the Oxford Dictionary, popularly defined it as relating to and denoting circumstances in which objective facts are less influential in shaping public opinion, but it appeals to emotion and personal belief. Actually, the Oxford Dictionary in 2016 named it the word of the year. So we're living in an era where it's not about truth anymore. It's about emotion.
Do you simply say facts don't really matter anymore?
You know, I've got this book here. Now let me just promote this book. It's not my book, so I'm not getting anything from it, but this is a good book. Never Split the Difference. It's from Chris Voss. If you want to learn how to negotiate with your wife or with your husband or with your boss for an increase or with a landlord or at the courts or at the CCM and all aspects of life, Chris Voss was the lead international hostage negotiator for the FBI for 24 years. And he said, if he fails in negotiation, somebody dies. So he doesn't lose, he wins. And it teaches you all the tips, the tricks of how to negotiate successfully. It is fantastic. You can actually get it on Take-A-Lot. I think it costs like 200 Rand or something. But if you're in the human resources or in the legal field, this is a must read. It teaches you how to influence people, and we're actually using these skills at the CCMA. And it helps us to, not always, but often get a withdrawal or a fantastic settlement. But to come back to your answer about truth, you see, one of the key elements Chris explains in the book is that humans think on two levels. On the emotional level, that's why they say feeling is thinking, and the logical level. The idea is to influence the emotions and somehow get the emotions to talk to the head, you see. But to come back to your question, truth doesn't matter. You know, it doesn't actually matter anymore. I know in the courts, I suppose it matters, but in life it doesn't. That's why you'll get politicians. They will talk nonsense, but they appeal emotionally to a certain group, and people will support that person regardless of what they say. And if I may, I'm not taking a political point here, but if you look at the Israel-Palestinian conflict, for instance, there are certain groups that they will feel it is unacceptable that the Israeli baby must be murdered. There are some people who feel it is acceptable if an Israeli baby gets murdered. And vice versa. Some people will feel it is unacceptable if a Palestinian baby gets murdered. Some people will feel it is acceptable if a Palestinian baby gets murdered. Yeah. But it's not logic, because if you think logically about it, it's unacceptable that any baby gets murdered. But it's got to do with your emotional identity, attaching yourself to a certain ideology, to a certain point of view. And for us as South Africans, we were greatly influenced and hurt by apartheid.
Yeah.
So when we look at the situation, we see apartheid.
Whenever you hear the word, the name Israel, and then you think apartheid.
That's why I think so many South Africans are on the Palestinian side. And once again, I'm not vouching for or against any side. I'm trying to say how, I think how life works, But then again, if you look at the Israelis, they've been so hurt by the Holocaust, the same thing. If you just look in the direction of the Israeli, they're going to bomb your house.
100.
You see. So life's got to do with here. If I may say, if you look at Mr. Trump in America, the more he's been called out for fraud, the more supporters he's get.
And then you'll get someone raising it.
Hey,
I love Trump.
It doesn't make sense.
I was watching a podcast last week, Penwell, the Black Pen.
Yeah?
He was interviewing this radio DJ. His name is Waras. Waras was like, I love Trump. Make no mistake, I love Trump. I'm like, okay, I love you guys, but I don't understand what you're saying there.
But it means I'm newsflash, Trump been found guilty of fraud. But I love Trump.
I love Trump.
It's weird. But to come back to your discussion about Palestine and Israel,
Yeah.
I read in the news yesterday. They were doing, I think it was ISPOS, they were doing research in terms of the support for the different political parties, ANC, DA, and EFF, or whatever. And they had an interview with this one guy in Cape Town. Apparently, this was a younger kind of guy. And he actually praised the DA for what a fantastic job they are doing in Cape Town. But he will not support them because they are on Israel's side, apparently. Now, look, that's fine.
I really sense that but.
No, look. Ideology-wise, if you want to support Israel or Palestine, that's fine. No problem there. But I'm still asking. Now, this is once again an emotional thing. You won't support somebody that makes sure you get a job, that manage your region well because of what's happening in Israel. I'm like, yes, I understand international relations, and yes, write Israel a letter and tell them they suck. I get it, but
charity begins at home.
Charity begins at home, man. I mean, we're South African. We need to look after ourselves.
Primary before secondary.
You look after your house.
100%. Get your house in order. You can't go now and lure at what they're doing.
So we live in an era where we don't think logically anymore. Now, if I may, we've been talking politics here, and we must bring in religion. Yes. There's this verse in the Bible, Romans 1. It says there that because humanity is rebelling against God, He's giving humanity over to a debased mind. A debased mind means a mind that can't think logically anymore. The quality of your thinking has degraded. And yes, I see it. But now to come back to employment, that's why we're here. In this case, in Klerksdorp, it was a CCMA case. I was representing a large retailer in South Africa against a manager. I chaired the hearing in August this year, and he was the senior branch manager, but he was also a partner in the business. He had shares in that branch. He was dismissed for manipulating the stock system, for gross dishonesty. He's manipulating the stock system. So there was a laptop that went missing. When I heard the case, I'm of the view that he stole the laptop, but that was not the case. Okay, so we didn't address that. But since March this year until August, the laptop was missing. Now, every month, the company will send auditors to do stock takes. And every time there's a stock take, at the start of the stock take, you will transfer this laptop on the system out for repairs. Now, they use an external repair company. The thing is just when the auditors come to do stock take, they don't actually go to the repairers
and check if
they
physical,
sort of take it as is.
The physical item is there.
Yeah, because it's been transferred out, it's not on the floor, so the auditors won't know they should count. Once the audit is done, he transfers it back with his username and password. So we got the report, the printout from the system, and he confirmed, the data integrity of the system is very important, the security of the system is very important. He confirmed that he never ever will give his details, his login details to anybody else. And he also confirmed that it is impossible to log into the system if you don't use his details. So, I was concerned that, as you know by now, arbitration is with prejudice. And I told him straight, listen, why didn't you withdraw this case? I tried. You see, I didn't get it right always like you. Sometimes I do, but not always. I got it right 2 weeks ago, but not 2 days ago. Why didn't you withdraw the case? We'll squash your record and give you a strong reference letter. Because the reality of the matter is this. In your kind of profession, reputation is important. I mean, every employer is going to phone us. We're just going to send them an arbitration award and say, listen, you've been dismissed for this or whatever the case may be. And that arbitration award is going to be on your file forever. He refused. Eventually, the commissioner and the interpreter tried for 2 hours to speak logic. No.
Not feelings.
He's not feeling it, you see. Anyway. Yes, I've tried every psychological skill I had, but some people it just doesn't work. But anyway, so Eventually went for arbitration. You sat there from 8:30 in the morning till like 4 in the afternoon, the whole day. The Klerksdorp is far. Eventually I got to the point in the main where I get to cross-question him. And I explained to him, listen, because he's like, how can you say I'm dishonest? I'm like, okay, my man, if there's a system, you type into the system, I have a laptop. I put it on the floor. But you confirmed, for the last 6 months, you actually didn't have the laptop. So every time you transfer this item, you actually don't have it.
Yeah.
And you actually, accidentally, in his defense, testified to him phoning the repairer who confirmed he never had the laptop.
Nothing.
Okay, so the laptop is missing. So if you type into the system, I have the laptop, I'm putting it on the floor from the repairer, who you admitted the repairer never had it in the first place, you don't have it also, it's called a lie, which means dishonesty. You know what his response was? No, I don't agree. It's not a lie. And I'm like, are you for real? So I said, okay, I had my water bottle there. So I said, okay, here's my water bottle. I tell you, I have this bottle, but I don't. That equals a lie. No, can't be. I'm like,
but there's always one thing about people who are dishonest. Sometimes they play dumb.
yeah, you look. I suppose people do this on purpose because they have to defend their case or whatever the case may be. But it stands out so much. It's actually so embarrassing. When I wanted to demonstrate this again, the commissioner made me quiet. He said, I get it. Just move on.
Yeah, but the commissioner gets it. Okay, but this guy doesn't matter because as long as the commissioner gets it, then he's the person you are presenting.
What one tries to do under cross-examination is to close potential off-ramps. So if you can imagine a road, and there are a road to the truth of what really happened, there are many off-ramps, So you try to question the person to close all the off-ramps. So you ask questions that on the face of it seems to be irrelevant. But just so that when you nail the main point, you can now take this off-ramp. You see, that's why I will ask questions like, do you agree that you never gave your passwords to anybody?
Yeah.
So that when I ask him the main question that it's not possible, I put it to you, it's not possible for stock to be transferred on the system if it wasn't you.
If it wasn't you.
Because it was your details. Then he can't say, oh, but somebody else might have had my details because we've closed that off-ramp already. But now in this case, we've closed all the off-ramps. Now you get to the bull point. The bull. And the bull is because you did not have the laptop physically with you, and you still say, I'm transferring it onto the floor, that's a lie. He should be in checkmate by now that he can't use an off-ramp, and he should say, yeah, it makes sense.
But
it doesn't happen. He gives the ultimate dud answer. No, it's not. I don't agree. Ooh. So it can be very frustrating for an initiator or a representative. So what I normally try to do in circumstances like that is I demonstrate it for 2 or 3 times just to highlight the silliness of his answer, to embarrass him. So eventually the commission will then I know I'm hitting the mark.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, the most important person in arbitration is not myself, it's not my client, and it's not the other party, it's the commissioner. So if I can't get him to admit and he's giving like an answer because his mind is debased, then at least, I try to get through to the commissioner, let him start rolling his eyes, then I know I'm hitting the mark, But it's interesting, Tsepo. Yes, some people are just like that. I'm like,
Actually, I had a case whereby a bartender was caught with alcohol leaving the premises at Gold Reef City.
Yeah.
One of our clients there in Gold Reef City. So this guy is a bartender. The nice thing, he stated that I was working alone at the bar. So now it's knock-off time, they're going home. There's a lady colleague borrowed this guy's jacket. They go to the security will search. When they search, they find a water bottle. But there was gin. There was no water in there. There was gin. Now they took the lady, and the lady's like, but this is not my jacket. I borrowed it from this gentleman. But the casino did their due diligence.
Yeah,
And
they will ban you, yeah.
they breathalyzed the lady. And the lady was 0000.
Oh, okay, yeah.
To prove that that's not her
not
jacket. The owner of the jacket, they breathalyzed,
Guilty.
tested positive. You know what this guy say?
Yeah.
No, maybe someone put it in my jacket. I'm like, you said you were alone at the bar. You were alone at the bar. This is your jacket. There's gin there. Who's dealing with alcohol? Not waiters, not people serving other people. You at the bar. Yeah, but I've been there for over 12 hours. I'm like, yeah, you see, you had a lot of time to find a way of pouring gin
Sneaking
in the,
this out.
You know, I'm connecting the dots now. It's your jacket. There's alcohol in it. They tested you tested positive. Yeah, no, but I drank the previous day. But you worked for 12 hours and then you drank the previous day. Come on. He was arguing. Then I kept on saying, you know what? I'm not going to go further with this.
Yeah, you know, sometimes you do a hearing and somebody are charged for theft, you know, like stealing money or so. You tell the person, you know, it's dishonest if you take somebody else's money, it doesn't belong to you. And sometimes they will say, no, I don't agree. You know, I thought I was just taking something that maybe it could have belonged to me. I don't know.
Interesting.
Anyway, so yeah, that is this case. We are in a post-truth area or era. Truth doesn't seem to matter anymore. At least in front of the courts, the commissioners and the judges, it does. Truth does matter.
It does, but
it seems like in life, yes, life is getting confused.
Yeah,
you know.
life
Anything
is
goes, you know, as long as it feels good. That's also, you know, sometimes you get, well, I must be careful now, sometimes you get certain groups. People, they support a certain ideology, and I don't want to give names now because otherwise people are going to say, oh, I'm anti this or anti that. But you go in the media and you toy for a certain ideology, you belong to a certain group, but the ideology they support is nuts. It doesn't make sense. Then I start to realize the reason why a lot of people join these groups is not because of the correctness or the correctness of what they believe, but it's because of the brotherhood. It's because of your identity, you know. This group, the family, the braais you have every Saturday, the togetherness forms your identity. So you are more warming up to the brotherhood, if you can put it that way, than to the ideology. And you must go think about this. Why do you believe what you believe? Why do you support what you support? Is it because it actually makes sense, or is it because of a feeling? Identity, emotions.
It's like lately, I love radio. That was my dream job, actually. I wanted to be a radio broadcaster. So to date, I still.
You mustn't advertise here. Maybe Jack and phone you tomorrow, and then
I'm leaving.
Shit. Tips. No.
I still listen to radio to date, even though my view is different compared to 10 years ago. Radio was good then. Now, because now we're sitting in an era whereby there is talent, which is me. Yes, I am talented. I can do this, you know what I'm saying? But you will find there's this person on the social media, they've got 1 million followers. But because radio is targeting numbers, they're not going to employ me. They will employ that person who's got 1 million followers. And when they get there, they don't know what they're doing. They have no clue of what, but because he's got followers, now people are going to listen, and then they follow the person. And you see now, this is the era that we're living in, whereby it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter anymore.
It doesn't.
But Tim, before we close off, tell me a joke, man. Order. You always tell a joke. It's so nice about post-truth. In Parliament, where they will ask questions and they will answer the questions, but it doesn't relate to the question. You know, they'll ask you, what color is this car? It's yellow, but I will tell you about the sun and the moon.
The one that I love most about the Parliament, it was Mbuyisani Ndlozi.
Okay.
Jackson Mthembu, I think he passed on. May his soul rest in peace. So Ndlozi was rectifying him. I think he said, it is because the appointment and disappointment, and it's like, it is not disappoint, it's unappoint. You see now, This is the result of reading True Love magazine instead of political literature. So yeah, it's rough in the parliament. So this is the end of our episode. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and put your comments.
Thank you so much.
Suggest something for us and then we will attend to that. Capiche?
Yeah, and also then, yeah, from our side, thank you for following us. Thank you for listening. I get a lot of good, positive feedback. People are actually enjoying this. There's a lot to learn. And as we go along our day-to-day business and just learn from everybody in South Africa. So you are enriching us, and it is nice for us to be able to tell all the stories. So, but yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.